I really, really believe that if you follow these steps and if you are a bit more intentional, committed, and strategic about the way that you work towards your goals, you will achieve them. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. If you're new here, I'm Amy. I'm a mindset and well-being coach. And today, I think, especially given that it is the first week of 2025, I think that in the first 2 weeks, we're still transitioning into the new year. And I think this is a great time to get very, very clear on your goals. Though I think that many of us fall off the bandwagon at some point in the year when it comes to goals. So I really do see myself as somewhat of an expert on goals because that is my job, to coach people to set the right goals and to be able to achieve them. So I want to give you a little bit of a snippet on how you can do this, how you can set the right goals, and how you can break them down to allow yourself to actually achieve what you set out to achieve. Now, we'll definitely get into the nitty-gritty of breaking down goals and how to do all of that. But to begin with, it's a really good idea to have a powerful overarching goal statement that really underlines everything you want to do and all the work that you want to put in. And I think that there are three main aspects to actually follow and think about when you are constructing this overarching main goal. First of all, you need it to inspire you. It doesn't help if you are setting a goal and it's for somebody else, or it's not exciting to you, or you are just doing it because you are caring about the way it appears to others, not about the way that it actually feels to you. So the first thing that you want to think about is it needs to be inspiring. You need to be able to look at that goal statement and to be excited about it. The second one is to have the goal statement be specific but not rigid. We'll get into the details of the goals later on, but this goal statement, I want it to be something that can come easily to mind, that you remember it, and it sort of rolls off the tongue. So it needs to be specific enough, but not super rigid. And I'll give you an example. I want to be healthier. This is too airy-fairy. It could mean many things. Make it more specific. I want to feel good and confident in my body. I want to be intentional about what I eat and how I treat my body. I want to feel good in the way that I look and move in the next 6 months. It's a good idea to give a time element here, but hopefully you get the idea here. It needs to be specific. What do you specifically want to do? And try get a little bit detail oriented here, but keep it as one sentence. And then thirdly, focus on progress, not perfection. And what I mean by this is be realistic in this goal. You are not going to tell yourself, I will never eat sugar ever again, or I will never ever touch junk food for the rest of my life. It's highly unlikely that that will happen. And actually, just saying that sentence might conjure up more negative emotions than positive ones. So be aware you don't want to set yourself up for failure. Those are the three aspects of your overarching goal statement. It is to be inspired by it, be specific but not rigid. And the third one is to actually be realistic, progress over perfection. Now that you've got your overarching goal statement that's making you quite excited, I hope, you want to be very strategic about breaking it down. And why bother? Why break down goals? Oh, it feels so good to make that overarching goal statement. You might just want to leave it at that. But I think when people are not strategic on how they are actually going to reach that goal and break it down, that is why everyone tends to fall off the bandwagon by, let's say, March. When you break down goals, it brings clarity. You know what you need to do. It brings focus. You're not worrying about what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how you can do it, and what you need. And also, it reduces overwhelm. If you've broken goals down, it's not this huge, giant mountain that you have no idea how to climb. And I think with those three things, less overwhelm, more clarity, more focus, you are really setting yourself up for success. And I'll give an example here. In my honors year, we had to do a huge thesis for the psychology module that we were doing for research. We had to write 8,000 words. We had to work through a whole document and documents and documents of interviews and work through them, and there was just so much work, and it felt very overwhelming and anxiety provoking and all those things. But when you break it down to just one day researching the outline, the next day only looking at the authors you want to add into the research section, and the day after that only looking at reading one transcript from an interview. When you break it down bit by bit, it makes it so much more manageable. And I found that in my own life, that I managed to stay on track super well doing that because I broke it down. I knew what I would be doing this week and the coming weeks because I'd thought about it, and I did not feel anxious in the way that so many people who were doing the same thing did. So you can take advantage just in the way that I did. Now, how do you actually break goals down? I'll give you 3 steps on how to do this. The first is to visualize success. What does success look like in regards to your goal? Take a moment, think about your overarching goal statement that you've hopefully already constructed. Close your eyes and imagine achieving success. Imagine living up to that goal 100%. How would that look? How would you feel? Note down any details that come to mind, even if it's a little bit random, but really put yourself in the shoes of future you achieving those goals. It gives you great clarity, and it also makes this thing feel a little more tangible. And the second step is to create milestones. So you've thought about what success looks like to you in regards to this goal. Now you are going to imagine the milestones in between all the chapters. Some goals are more inherently ordered. So, for example, I spoke to you about writing the thesis. That's more ordered because there's an outlining phase, there's a researching phase, there is a methodology phase and things like that. It's a lot more ordered, but other things might not be. So you can think of it as milestones, or you can think of it as chapters in the process of achieving your goal. So that example I gave you of getting healthier, we transformed that wishy-washy goal into I am intentional about what I put into my body, I feel confident in my own skin, and I prioritize my health. That's our one overarching goal statement. You can see this is a bit trickier. It's not inherently ordered. So you would want to break that down. If you close your eyes and imagine I'm intentional about what I put into my body, what does that mean? That means drinking water. That means eating more whole foods. You can already see that I've gotten quite a few bits and bobs from that overarching goal statement. And from there, the third step is to divide those milestones or chapters into tiny little steps. So for example, one of the things that I got from there, one of the milestones or the chapters, was to drink more water. Okay, so you might want to look at where you are currently now. How much water do you drink now? Maybe you drink none. Maybe you hate the taste of water. So you cannot force yourself to drink 2 liters of water the next day. Maybe that's the end goal, but for now, think about what you are capable of doing in the next week. There was another part of that, which was eating more whole foods. Look at yourself now. How much whole foods do you currently eat versus processed foods? If you are eating takeaway every single evening, then you might want to not force yourself to eat whole foods every single evening. Rather start small. Start with 1 evening a week. You are going to try out a meal that has more whole foods. Again, start small, look at where you currently are, and think about the next most achievable step. And a good question is, what will I do to move closer to my goal that I can achieve in the next week? So there you have it. I could really talk about this subject on and on and on and on because I'm very passionate about goals and how you can go about reaching them in a way that assures you will actually achieve what you set out to achieve. So I thought I'd give you this snippet. Hopefully it helps you. Let me know. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share with me if you use any of these tips and possibly what your overarching goal statement is for 2025. But I wish you nothing but the best, and I really, really believe that if you follow these steps and if you are a bit more intentional, committed, and strategic about the way that you work towards your goals, you will achieve them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.